Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment. So, I'd like to introduce the hardcore crew. First, he's the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, how are we doing?
I'm doing fine. I hope everybody else is in internet land. I was going to say then.
And then we have the incomparable Lance Moss over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. Lance, what's up?
At first you don't succeed, try again.
And try again. And last and certainly not least, he is the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. At least you got the show. Now you got the show doing better than a TNA pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing. I'm not sure if that's a plus or a minus, but, I'll take it as a compliment. Well, we're going to start off. They were supposed to have a kickoff match featuring Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton versus the Wyatts. And unfortunately, that just didn't happen. I guess Randy Orton suffered an injury, so they kind of had to change things up. And, so now we have a rematch from Monday night, which is Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Neville versus King Barrett, Sheamus, and Rusev. Now, Andy, what would you say? Who's your picks and what's your thoughts about this match?
From what I can gather, the WWE seem to be just chopping and changing things all the time. And why make matches and then just don't have them?
Well, as I said, Randy Orton was injured. He has a shoulder injury,
Is
which
he
he's had a
legitimately
history of.
injured, or is it just
I think he was injured during the
minute?
Mexican tour. I did a little bit of research, and it's still not really, it doesn't say when he had the injury, but he's obviously out. So I think this match was just thrown together in the last minutes. Considering that the Sheamus, Barrett, and Rusev won, I'm going to go over the pick and just say that Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville's going to get this win. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go exactly the same way. I just think Cesaro needs a push of some description in some way, shape, or form because it's well deserved on his part.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw Mick Foley a couple of weeks ago, and even he said he's probably one of the most underrated wrestlers today that deserves a right push. But unfortunately, Vince McMahon doesn't think so. Lance, over to you. Your thoughts?
Well, I kind of see the faces going over. I don't know why. I just do. I guess I flipped a coin or something. But this is kind of a pre-show match should be, and a little bit thrown together. But you'd rather have it on the pre-show than on the main show.
And Joe, finally, over to you.
You know what? I got to say the baby faces are going to go over because they did lose on Monday night. So you got to kind of give it to them.
I'm sorry, no, I was too busy doing other things. I was picking my ass.
Don't use your thumb.
Yeah. No, don't.
Well, Andy, I'm not going to use your thumb, that's for sure. From what I understand, you already broke your thumb that way. So, Anyway,
That's
moving
how we
along.
did it.
Somebody probably pulled my thumb out my ass and I did a bit too quick.
Moving along, as I said, John Cena is now going to be facing, he's doing the open challenge. We don't know who he's going to face. So, it's really left up in the air as to who could possibly get it. But John Cena's supposed to be reportedly taking some time off. So I'm wondering if he's going to drop it. The big question is who? Joe, who do you think would show up, and who do you possibly think could, do you think he's going to win it?
You know what? They took off the Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose match for a reason. I would have to say, if I had to do a toss-up, it'll either have to be two people, Dolph Ziggler, or it has to be Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose is a good pick because he's not now. He was supposed to be on the show tonight. He was supposed to be on the pay-per-view this Sunday, and obviously because of the injury, as we talked about just a few months ago, he could very well be it, and he could go for that next title reign. All right, Andy, over to you.
Yes, I'm going to go the same way as Joe. It looks like I'm copying, but I'll go the same way as Joe.
All right, Lance, your thoughts?
Well, since the reports are he's supposed to be called up fairly soon, and the best way to get somebody over with the fans is to have him go over on Cena, I'm going to say Tyler Breeze, and Cena's dropping it.
Wow. Right out of nowhere, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm personally no fan of Tyler Breeze, and I know I am a minority. He kind of reminds me of a watered-down HBK.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a style of his own. He doesn't have a look. The look doesn't really have a look of his own.
Kind of Shawn Michaels meets Zoolander.
Something like that, yeah, But we're going to move along to the next title match, which was the Intercontinental title match. Kevin Owens versus Ryback for the IC title. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I don't see Owens losing the title tonight, and I think Sunday night. I think he's just pretty much gonna, Ryback's just gonna get his ass kicked. Andy, over to you.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much like it was on Raw. Ryback's going to end up crying on the centre of the canvas. It's Kevin Owens is going to win, unfortunately.
You are not a fan of Kevin Owens, but you know what? You got to admit, last night he had an incredible match. He actually took Mark Henry, which we call the world's strongest jobber, but he hit him with that powerbomb. Very impressive, whether you like him or not. Joe, over to you. And Joe's must have a thumb up his ass right now. So, Lance, over to you.
Well, I don't have a thumb up my ass. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens, and he's going to have Ryback crying at the buffet.
All right, moving right along, we're going to go over to the Divas title match, and that's Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. Now, I really don't see Nikki again winning. I see Charlotte retaining the title. So it's just a little too obvious on this one. Lance, over to you.
Yeah, unless WWE wants to truly make the Divas Revolution mean absolutely nothing, it's pretty much dead. But if they want to actually have no difference in the company, put it back on Nikki. But I'm giving it to the female Nature Boy.
All right, Andy, your thoughts?
I think Ric Flair's daughter Charlotte's going to win this one. Unfortunately, I really do.
Moving right along, Joe should be with us in a few minutes, but I want to talk about the next. It's supposed to be a title match. Now, it's New Day versus the Dudley Boys. And considering, the way it's always been, I'm guessing it's going to be Big E and Kofi with Xavier just pretty much just being the glorified cheerleader. Yeah, I'll be fucking his trombone. So, if I really had to pick it now, a lot of people are saying that the Dudley's going to win, they're going to go over. I don't really see that happening. I see them just might be giving the New Day the rub, so I'm going to go with the New Day. Andy, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Unfortunately, I don't want to see the New Day on television. They're really getting on my wick now, but New Day are going to win. It's carved in stone. They're going to give it the Dudleys. Well, the Dudleys are basically there, just give the tag team division something to aim at, something to go for.
Yeah. Now, Andy, I want to talk to you about something else real quick now, and I'm going to kick this over to Lance as well. For over the past couple of weeks, they've been really pushing the whole got wood thing. New Day's been saying, save the wood, and they've been putting, Xavier through a couple of tables. Why isn't this a table match?
I got an audible feeling it'll turn out in. I just don't ever see the Dudleys. I know it's wrong to think that way. I don't ever see the Dudleys in a match that doesn't involve tables. It just doesn't seem like the Dudleys. It's their gimmick. It's like Mick Foley has to do the action stuff. They have to do table stuff to be the Dudleys. This new, I don't know if it's the young kids or what, but this New Day thing is just not, gimmick is just not gelling with me at all. It's making me feel, as a wrestling fan, very embarrassed if I was sitting in my living room with a non-wrestling fan when it came on TV.
My son saw them. When he first saw them, this is when they were wearing, like, the bright green. And my son, he said, they look like gay crossing guards. And that's exactly what he said. He never watches wrestling, never saw him, and he just, Rod just happened to be on. He came over for a minute, and he looked like, what the hell,
Yeah, what you've got to think about, wrestling fans, if you're listening out there, is how would you feel if you'd got a friend in your house when wrestling was on, and that was on? Tell me you wouldn't feel embarrassed, because I feel embarrassed to say I'm a wrestling fan the moment they walk down the arena with that trombone.
Yeah, absolutely. Lance, over to you. Your picks and your thoughts on the lack of the tables match.
Well, I actually was talking to Billy, the WrestleGamer, this afternoon, and I actually think it is going to turn out to be a tables match. Like the last, like at some point in the pre-show, there's like, breaking news: the tag team title match will be added a stipulation. It's a tables match, therefore the Dudleys are going over.
And I'm back. Sorry about that.
No worries, Joe. I think I told everybody, like Andy and myself, you had your thumb up your ass, but it's okay.
Exactly.
Well, I want to go over a couple of picks with you because I know you weren't here at the time. The Owens-Ryback match for the IC title. Who do you see retaining the title, or do you see Ryback getting another title shot?
Definitely, I see Kevin Owens keeping that title. They will not give it on that lackluster, poor excuse for a talent in Ryback. The guy has
tell
no
us how you
talent.
really feel about Ryback.
Yeah, that guy has no talent whatsoever.
Yeah. So, all right, and our next match that we talked about was the Divas title match, Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. Your pick?
I think it's hopefully they don't give it back to Nikki Bella. I'm hoping that they keep that belt on Charlotte. So I got to say Charlotte all the way.
Yeah. Now, on a little side note, WWE was having a survey on who is the best all-time divas, and AJ Lee is winning by a landslide. Last time I checked, it was 51%. Nikki Bella only had 18%, guys. And, Joe, I want to kick right back over to the tag team title match. The New Days versus the Dudley Boys, and why there's no table match in this match.
You know, and that surprised me. I'm surprised they didn't go that extra mile and just take and put it into a tables match. But then I kind of get the idea why. Because they'll probably figure, well, everybody knows if it's a table match, it's got to be the Dudleys going over. So I think that's the problem. I think that's what they're looking at. So
that way, do you see the New Day winning, retaining?
You know what? It's a tough call. I would honestly say I would give it to the Dudleys because it's their time. But now with the lack of a title match, I'm kind of perplexed. I'm going to have to call that a toss-up, Rick.
All right, no worries. And we're going to move on to our next match. Now, this is Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. And, this feud's been going on since Money in the Bank, several months now, and it's kind of taken a couple of different twists and turns. Braun Strowman came in the picture, and, for a while it was making Roman Reigns weak. Now, this is a Hell in a Cell match. And if I had to really pick on that, just that factor alone, I got to give it to Roman Reigns. Joe, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to say Roman Reigns because they're going to start beginning his push soon. So I think it's time for him to get this win and get this match finally over with.
Yeah, and the feud is getting rather stale. Andy, over to you. Lance, over to you. It's Roman or Bray Wyatt in the Hell in a Cell. Who's your pick?
Well, I'm going to say Roman, and I actually think this is going to be a pretty good match because these two guys are fairly physical in their styles. They're going to beat the hell out of each other, let's face it. So I think this could be a contender for one of the best matches of the night because it's Hell in a Cell and these two guys are physical. So I think possibility for match of the night.
For me, sorry Rick, for me, they spoilt it by saying when Roman Reigns was sitting in the ring and put the chair down and then put one for Bray Wyatt, and he said, come and sit and talk one-to-one. He made a big deal that once you're in the cage, they can't get in, you can't get out. Screaming of a cane, rip the door off syndrome. That's all I can see. I don't think there's going to be any outcome to the match. I don't think anyone's going to win. There's going to be outside interference, definitely, because he's made it so obvious with that comment. You can't get out, they can't get in.
Yeah, and, we've seen, like monsters pull the door off, and, a Braun Strowman pulling the door off. That's going to be one of our little Trump bets, and I'm going to go around the table. Lance, do you see Braun Strowman getting involved, or, even like any of the other Wyatts getting involved in the match, despite being a Hell in a Cell?
Yes, I do, and I also see one other thing happening. If it does happen, Roman Reigns' crazy buddy will come down and help him.
Joe, over to you. It's the Trump bet.
I will have to agree with Lance. I could see I could see Dean Ambrose coming in and helping just to get this out of the way. But it all depends. Dean Ambrose wins the U.S. title, they might just push him in a whole different direction and kind of push him away from Roman Reigns, so Reigns can get that, that pretty much solo push for the world title.
Yeah, as far as whether Strowman or now Eric Rowan, who came back, whether they're going to get involved, I'm not sure. Luke Harper is taking some time off. I guess it's, they said personal reasons. If you ask me, I think it's kayfabe reasons, so they can bring Eric Rowan back in the picture and kind of give him that little extra push that he needs. Otherwise, he would have been kind of like lost in the spotlight, so to speak.
Rick, one more question. Let me just add this too. In all honesty, what happens with the Wyatt family if they do lose? If they do lose another match, doesn't it diminish who they are?
Well, considering they're now technically 4 strong, I disagree. I think they're, getting a little bit stronger, and if they lose this match, I just don't, I think they'll get away with it and they'll move on and they'll start a feud with somebody else and, they're going to start pushing themselves again. So where WWE really wants to take it remains to be seen. You never know. I mean, we've seen strong guys like Big Show and Mark Henry, get these pushes, and then next thing you know, they're jobbing on crazy. So the same thing can happen with Strowman. It's only a matter of time to watch out and see what happens. We now have, I call it a dual main event because I honestly don't know which one's going to be first. We're just going to start off with the Undertaker-Brock Lesnar feud, and this guy's have been going on for a long, long time. And if you ask me, I hope this is the last match between the two. If I had to pick it, honestly, just on the way they were talking about how this could be Undertaker's last Hell in the Cell match, I want to go with Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar's going to need this win, and Undertaker's going to just, get ready to head off into the sunset, so to speak. Lance, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Taker's wrapping it up I say at Mania, but he's on that last ride, and I think they're going to give this one to him.
I agree. Andy, your thoughts?
I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar. I think the Undertaker. It's the Undertaker's slippery downward spiral final run, I think.
And Joe, over to you.
I gotta say, it's gonna definitely be Brock Lesnar. I can't see the Undertaker getting another win, even if it is his favorite match. I don't see him pulling this out. So Brock Lesnar all the way.
And now we have our main event, and it's Kane versus the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Now, I really don't know why they're having this match. To me, it just, I don't see Kane winning the title. I'd like to see him have one more title run before he retires, but for him to beat Seth Rollins, it's going to be kind of an insult, just to the whole title reign and everything else. If he had the Money in the Bank type thing and won it that way, I'd be like, yeah, all for it, but obviously that's just not the case. Joe, your thoughts on this match?
Definitely I do not see Kane winning this. I think it's obvious that he is not going to win this. I just think they ran out of contenders, and they just want to give Kane something like a good hurrah for him. So that's really what I see this happening. His final hurrah, and they want to give him something good. Is he going to win? No. So Seth Rollins all the way, keeping the title.
All right. Andy, over to you.
I don't know why, I've got an horrible feeling that Kane is going to defeat almost Seth Rollins, but refuse to pin him and call down Sheamus to cash in his briefcase.
And you know what? That's something, a factor that we really haven't considered, that Sheamus is going to try to cash in. So I'd like to see that possibly happen, but I don't see him. He'll make an attempt to cash in, but I don't think he'll be successful with the cash in, and it'll be down for a later date. Lance, over to you.
Yeah, I don't see Kane picking this one up. Granted, this is just a thank you to Kane, basically. Because he has some more gas in his tank than the Undertaker does, but yeah, I don't see Kane winning this. From what I hear, they might be planning on giving Rollins Punk's record, or the Punk streak or something, so whatever.
I've heard that too. I also heard that, they wanted to give that to Roman Reigns. But again, I think it's just a rumor mill running amok. So, I'll believe things when I see it. Obviously, they want to kill the record just to spite CM Punk, especially since CM Punk's been kind of dissing the wrestling industry as of late. But now, you know what? We're going to wrap things up, and we want to know your thoughts, the listeners. Who do you think can win these matches? How do you think the Hell in a Cell as a whole is going to turn out? Please put your comments in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that like button and take a few seconds out and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to HWO Show on YouTube. Also, if you want to be a part of the conversation, we do have the HWR chat room over on Facebook. That is in the group section. I'd like to thank the incomparable Lance Moss for coming on. Lance, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, and every Wednesday night I go live at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Not sure what the hell it is on the West Coast. But yeah, and I never know who's going to stop by. And hit me up on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV.
All right. And we have my sidekick. He's my partner. He is the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, you're over at Stoke Haunted. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, I've got the Halloween investigation special coming up on Halloween night, obviously. But I'd just like to take time out to thank everyone at the HWR team for letting me promote some good news. We've been chosen to go on a TV show called Ghosts of Great Britain. It's going to be filmed next year. It's going to be on UK television. It's called Get Scared TV. But it's also going to be on national television. So as soon as I get any dates and air times and what it's going to be on in the US for you fans out there, I'll let you know. But that's some good news for the up-and-coming near future. So anything I'd like to say to everybody is, please go on my Facebook page, but go to www.stokehaunted.com, and then from there, click on the Facebook page and like our Facebook page and make us look better than what we actually are. Thank you very much.
No problem, Andy. And you know what? I myself cannot wait to see you, the son of a bitch, live on TV. Holy shit, what that's going to be. And last and certainly not least, we have the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Facebook on Facebook.com, Joseph Knight Manager. You can also follow me on Twitter at JKnightCWA. Mostly what I'm doing is just putting in some news with everything that goes on in the wrestling scene. I'm posting it up in the HWR chat room.
Oh, and one more thing as well, which I forgot to mention. If and when the pilot episode gets aired next year, I'm going to make sure I've got some HWR t-shirts on.
All right, you know what?
That's a promise. Even if I have to make one up myself, there's going to be at Stoke Haunted.
Mention Lance Moss TV.
I'll get sponsorship on the back of my t-shirt.
There you go.
When I'm running scared, you'll see it on the back.
And you know what, folks? That's how you support HWR. You know, we have T-shirts. You can check on our YouTube page. We have these podcasts. We have, tributes, music tributes, movie reviews, and much, much more. So for the hardcore crew, I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you. Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.